Hey there, this is Zach here again. This is going to be a review of the AES, or a follow-up review of the AES Audio Engineering Society. It's a conference that is held here every October in New York City at the Javits Center. A little backstory is when I was going around the conference center, I basically looked around and saw this amazing display of vintage items. So I kind of went up to the booth and I met this gentleman that was there to greet me. And his name was Louis Manno, and little did I know, he was the director of the Audio History and Library Museum. So here's a little interview of me and him talking. Without further ado, let's go to that interview. We have here the founder of the Audio History and Library Museum, Louis Manno. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this interview with us.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about your background.
I came to New York City to become the world's best classical music recording engineer. A couple years after Leonard Bernstein's contract with CBS was up, he shipped off to Europe to work with the Israeli and Wien Philharmonics on Deutsche Grammophon. That was the move for him, but he was the last big fish. So I took to doing custom sound design and installation. And I was working on an installation and noticed some equipment I hadn't heard about before. So when I got home, I called a couple of friends who'd been around the block a few times more than me. They had never heard of it either. This is curious. So the next morning, I started to call the manufacturer's reps in the metropolitan region, about asking for the oldest person there. About second or third, oh yeah, I remember them. They were up in the Bronx. They went out of business 10 years ago. Sir, thank you very much for your time. And as I was hanging up, I realized that you and I as engineers or contractors or whatever have nowhere to go. This is before the internet.
Okay.
Had nowhere to go for information on old equipment. So I had a collection. I had friends who wanted to unload their collections.
Yeah.
And I talked to the Audio Engineering Society about emptying the library, putting file cabinets in there and having me go to work. Got 501c3 and we're off and running. We now have files on almost 3,000 audio equipment manufacturers from 40 countries. Earliest document 1860, the first machine to record sound. And when I ask people for product literature, I have this, can you take it? So I didn't start out desiring a museum. It's come to me.
So much things that a lot of people haven't seen before, and a lot of the audience on YouTube definitely hasn't seen.
Which is why I bring it to the convention. All your 99.8% of your technical museums around the world are owned by private individuals. They're in private hands. If you know the person or you know the buddy of a person, you may get invited to their home to see this place or their business. Once that person passes away, the wife calls eBay, and a lifetime of collecting goes poof to the four winds, and it's over. I am bringing the information on this equipment to you, the attendee here at Javits Center. Javits is my brick and mortar.
Love it.
I bring the museum to you, so you don't have to chase it or try to even think about it. I bring it to you so you can know about the history of our industry.
Like a little bit of background, like you said you were an engineer at the...
Oh, classical recording music engineer. So I started doing a lot more installations and went from residential to commercial to my two largest systems, 1986 renovation at Carnegie Hall. Mine was one of 5 systems that was considered for them.
Amazing.
And then in 2011, I designed a system for Madison Square Garden.
And then you said you worked a little bit at the Waldorf too, right? You were like...
20 years, 2 months, and a number of days.
Wow.
Before that, I was called to be chief engineer at the 3rd largest theater on Broadway, the Mark Hellinger, 51st and Broadway.
What is the most famous artist that you remember at the time that you mic'd up?
There's so many people
There's
who
so
came
many.
through there. Yeah.
All the greats probably were there at the time.
The artists were there. I did kings, presidents. I mean, one time Pete and I had in the ballroom 11 kings and presidents. Had 20 pairs of Secret Service eyes on us. Another time, I remember doing President Hu for an entire day. We had 4 quarter-day meetings. Bill Clinton 8 times. The Vice Premier of China 8 times. Henry Kissinger 8 times.
A lot of famous people here.
Yeah.
You've been
that
around.
That was the job.
What is like your most prized item collection in here?
Oh my.
It's really hard to pick a baby. But.
Well, we have the world's first amplifier, a mechanical amplifier from Western Electric, 1900.
1900s.
1900. We also have the world's first tube amplifier. Notice I didn't say vacuum. It was designed by Robert von Leeuwen, an Austrian physicist, and produced in Berlin in 1912 by the company which has become Telefunken.
Telefunken, wow.
Yes.
And I know that history.
That was 1912. He passed away in 1913. His associate in 1914 was successful in inventing the vacuum for the tube.
And that's when
tube manufacturing took off. So I'm told we have the only one in the Western Hemisphere. One thing I like here is that little Telefunken from 1934.
Got it.
It's a little handheld mic.
And what is your most oldest item in your catalog?
Well, the amplifier. Also, I have part of a telephone from, I think that's 1901.
1901.
So 1900 for the amp, 1901 for the receiver
earpiece
on the telephone.
Yeah.
You have 1922 up there for the Western Electric 600 double button carbon.
Yeah.
1928 for the RCA that says NBC on it. Then the second shelf all the way across is from the 1930s. This Shure 40C, there are two known in the world.
Okay.
One at Shure and one in front of you.
Amazing.
Right here you're seeing the transition from Western Electric to Altec. Altec used to be all technical. It was division of Western Electric, charged with maintaining all the equipment in theaters, because Western Electric made all the sound, a ton of sound equipment for theaters. Well, the government wanted them to spin it off because they were too big, and so the all technical division became Altec.
Oh,
and you can see the transition here, 639A, 639B.
I see. That is amazing.
This is an amazing feat. Just as in America in the 20s, the federal government caused the big electronics firms to share patents. That happened in the 20s in America. It happened in the 30s in Germany. And so there were two companies in Leipzig, VEB and RFT, that made this. It's a Neumann patents, but they made the bottle, and then Neumann Gefell, just south of Berlin, made the capsule.
Oh, separate.
So that's all original Neumann or Neumann design.
Amazing.
From 1936.
1936.
And here's an Altec television mic, because notice how small it is, so it doesn't get in the way of you seeing the announcer.
Of course.
Or the TV personality.
Yes.
Here's my cute little telephone.
Your prize telephone.
Shep, an old Shep's, a more recent Shep's. The
it's all good.
sign fell off. Down here is Neumann U87 as you use it, and then the inside's exposed so you can see how it works.
Mm-hmm.
That's Electro Voice. That's the famous 664 called the Buchanan Hammer.
So beautiful.
Yeah, this is RCA PB90. Looks very much like the 44BX, which I have in the case there.
Lovely.
There's a Rode. There's an Olson. There's a Reslow ribbon from England in 1960.
It's beautiful.
That's RCA from the 1930s.
Yeah.
The 77A was used, I believe, I'm told, on the stage of Radio City Music Hall. It was on pneumatics. It was on a pole. The engineer half a block away, would flip a switch, and up they would come out of the floor of the stage for the singers.
Wow.
This is a microphone that worked on frequency modulation into the power supply.
Wow.
This is the world's first wireless microphone, the 80, and here's a more recent Shure SM58 wireless microphone.
This is the first wireless mic.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep. Oh, and don't forget our friend
Yes.
who helped save Britain in World War II,
Yes.
Winston Churchill. Actually, his great-granddaughter was here yesterday.
Really?
And she got her picture taken with this picture.
Wow. That's amazing.
You never knew who you're going to find at the Audio
You never
Engineering
knew.
Society convention.
Yeah. Where can we find more of
Audiohistory.com is our website, and also our YouTube channel is Audio History Library and Museum.
Where can people find, see the items live?
Come to the Audio Engineering Society convention.
Amazing.
We've been here for 20 years.
You heard that here, guys, first, and come down here to New York City. I've been here for 20 years. Meet Louis here. He's collected everything. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you for coming by.
So that's pretty much our interview with Louis Manno. You can check them out more on their website, which is going to be linked in the description. Also, their YouTube. Please subscribe to them and also subscribe to me as well. Like that as well, share, whatever you want to do. But it's going to help out small creators like me, so please do so. Till then, hope everybody's doing well. Have a fantastic week. Signing off.